Am I the asshole for being disappointed with how my husband planned my 30th? I am turning 30 soon in September, and I always wanted to do something special this year versus what we always have done, which was a dinner with friends. For context, my husband is never the planner type. I plan all the trips and manages all the administrative stuff. I always wished secretly I could be the travel princess, sometimes, and he would take over the planning. But he is the type of person to have no urgency, which is why I usually take over to book things if needed. What is interesting is he does plenty of research and planning around his fantasy football league, organizing drafts, researching players, etc., etc. Last year, we celebrate his 30th with a dinner plus activity with the friends, and then I planned a trip to a really nice resort with some close friends, but due to everyone's schedule and cost, the trip was delayed a couple of months after his birthday. So this May comes, I was really excited to hear about my birthday plans and was worried he would forget, so I asked him if he has thought of anything yet. He said something along the lines of, "I don't understand why I need to plan things so early like you, and not to worry since it will special." I really don't want to nag or be a control freak, so I decided to never bring it up again. I recently found out Coldplay was touring, and they are one of my favorite bands, so I texted him if we can buy tickets and spend a couple of days in London, since I never been there before. For months past, September comes and my 30th is 2 weeks away. I asked him if we have anything fun planned. He said, "Yeah, I booked a recipe at a nice restaurant, and that's it." My heart dropped it a little, and I couldn't suppress my disappointment. I know he is not good with planning, but a part of me wished he tries a little harder with the things I care about. I calmly asked him why he didn't buy the Coldplay tickets, and he said he didn't realize he needed to buy it, which is fair because I didn't go explicitly I wanted this trip to be for my birthday, so he thought I was going to buy the tickets and plan it. I thought I was clear in my text I wanted to go, but it didn't register with him. He was responsible. I told him I wished he would try a little to surprise me, show effort, and plan things without me setting reminders. Then he said something along the lines of how he was just planning things according to the model of how I planned his 30th, which is just dinner. I had to remind him that I also planned a trip to the resort. He then argued how the resort trip was so long after his birthday for months. He doesn't feel like it's a birthday trip, and it was just a group trio with friends, so it doesn't count. He got mad at me and asked why I can't just be happy with the dinner he planned, and if I really wanted something else, he can just plan it now. We tried looking at nearby Airbnbs for a weekend trip, and all the goods are fully booked. Am I the asshole for wanting my husband to want to try harder for me? He can plan, he just doesn't care enough about you to do so. Not the asshole based on the way he plans things for you. You need to return the same effort for him. From here on out, just do the bare minimum for him and see if he notices. Not the asshole. If he wanted to, and it was important to him, he would see his fantasy league planning. You don't even rate as much attention from him as his fantasy football. Why are putting up with this? Don't you think you deserve better? Google tolerable level of unhappiness. You asking questions about plans because you want to remind him. Is babying him. And then his plans was a recipe? LOL. Be for real, dude. Do you even like yourself? Because if you did, why would you deal with this? Is this how little you think of yourself to think that you would rather be miserable with someone than create a happy life for yourself, and then maybe with someone else? The right person plans your birthday and makes it incredible because they know you and care about you. Either accept he is this way and stop putting so much effort into your planning for him and start spending that energy on planning for you, or seriously think if you can live with this forever. My husband is similar to yours, and it was so hurtful to realize he does not care how much small acts of love mean to me, and that he never thinks of buying me something I might like, just because. Then he had the audacity to complain when he realized I'd stopped doing those things for him. There are heaps of other red flags in my marriage, but I'm not in a position to leave yet. Am I the asshole for taking my laptop back after my boyfriend's sister stole from us? I, 21F, have a house with my boyfriend, 22M. My boyfriend's sister, 17F, feels like she has the right to enter our house at any time just because my boyfriend lives here also. So last night around 11:30, after my boyfriend and I had already fallen asleep, his sister walks into our house, and this wakes my boyfriend up. She asked if she could take a beer out of our fridge, and he told her no. She threw a fit apparently and slammed our bathroom door. My boyfriend thought she would just leave after throwing her tantrum in the bathroom, so he came back to bed. After a while we heard our front door slam, and my boyfriend got up to lock it, and we thought that was that. This morning, while putting groceries away, I opened the drawer in the fridge where we keep our alcohol, and it was completely empty. I had bought a 24-pack of Seagramps on Thursday, and only had one. So I asked my boyfriend if he moved them somewhere else. He told me no, and that his sister asked for a beer, and he said no and thought she left after. I confronted her about it, and she basically told me that she used our bathroom and her friend must have came into the house and took them. This could be true, but my boyfriend only heard the door slam once after coming to bed, because the door won't close unless you slam it hard. If it was open long enough for the friend to grab the alcohol from the fridge and leave, my cat would have definitely ran out of the house. So, her story was a lie to try to keep herself out of trouble. After thinking about it, I told her I knew she was lying, and even if she wasn't, she was letting her friend steal from us, and told her she was being selfish and disrespectful. She went on a rant about how I was a BTCH, and I controlled my boyfriend, and wasn't family to her anymore. When she said that, it made me pissed, on top of how pissed I already was about her thinking she has any right to take stuff from my house because her brother lives here. I went to her dad's house and talked to him about it, and told him that I was sorry, but they were going to have to figure out another way for her to do her schoolwork, because I was taking my computer back since I wasn't family anymore. He was fine with this. Now she's even more pissed and telling my boyfriend that he is dead to her and telling him to get rid of me since I'm controlling. I have never been rude to her and have been there for her through breakups and thought times, but she treats me like this just because I'm upset that she stole from me. Am I the asshole? Edit. We forgot to lock the house that night and didn't really think anything of it. We can only lock the house when we are there because our landlord lost the keys. We bought a new door handle, but it doesn't fit in the hole that is in the door, so we're just waiting on our landlord to approve us drilling a bigger hole into the door for the new handle. Not the asshole, but why does she have access to your house? You need to stop that from happening, and if your boyfriend is okay with his younger sister coming and going as she wants to and disrespecting you, then he needs to go too. So a minor is just wandering out at night, stealing and drinking 24 beers? Does her dad give a damn about her at all? What is happening? It's obviously not your responsibility to deal with her, but I'm surprised her dad and brother don't seem to care. If this is real, you should also secure your house properly. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, she can use the public library to do her homework. You need to learn to lock your doors. Not only for your own safety, but to save yourself from issues like this. If there's a spare key, take it back. Definitely not the asshole. And if she has a key to your home, I would confiscate it ASAP. Might be a good idea to change the locks instead. Why does she have a key to your house? Take the key back or change the lock. Restrict her access to your house. Tell her father about her stealing alcohol from you. Maybe he will check her room and find it. Not the asshole. She sounds like an exhausting, entitled person to be around. Your boyfriend should step up and put her in her place, as it's his sister. Am I the asshole for posting a message from my late father's Facebook page? My mom asked if I could convert my late father's Facebook page to a memorial account. Logged in, and first thing I was presented with was a post from a family member who lives interstate and had arrived in our hometown to visit my late father's brother. Cousin and aunt posted, traveled here with the aim to have all the siblings together again, to which I posted, under my late father Facebook account. Thanks for the invite, woo. Well, the fallout was immediate. People offended whilst others were in stitches. Take it down, rah-rah. P.S. Not particularly close to family interstate. They come to our town and never reach out to catch up or say hi. Too long, did not read. Am I the asshole for posting on Facebook as my late father? Comedy equals tragedy plus time. So it sounds like you have timing issues, lol. However, judging by your comments, your father had a dark sense of humor, so in a way you're keeping his memory alive. Gotta go with no assholes here simply because you didn't do it out of malice. Even if you know you are kind of an ass. A funny one though. I'm gonna say you are the asshole, but a funny one. Why did you decide to comment that from your late father's Facebook page? You literally stirred up drama coming from a deceased person's Facebook page. I'm going for you are the asshole since anyone that has a darker sense of humor is aware that others can be offended. How long has your dad been gone? Imo, if it hasn't been long since he's passed, his brothers and sisters may not be over the grieving process and not see the humor in the post. Info. Would your dad have appreciated the joke? Not the asshole. That's really funny. My parents are both still living, but they appreciate dark humor. They'd be cackling from the afterlife over that. And honestly, I would be as well. I'll be disappointed if the person I entrust my passwords to when I die doesn't do unhinged shit with my social media. So a really close friend of mine passed away some time ago. After the funeral, his grandsons had his cell phone and texted people, from his phone, that he was glad they came and that it really meant a lot to him. His sister and I were cracking up laughing. His daughter loved it. I love that the kids did this. I still have the message saved. Am I the asshole for not wanting to finance a trip for my stepson? Would I be the asshole? I, 61 female, have a 24 years old stepson. He has a baby due October 24th and lives with his girlfriend. The SS lives in a Midwestern state. His grandfather turns 80 on November 14th. He has seen his grandfather once in the last 9 years. My husband and his sister want to have a birthday dinner for their father who lives on the East Coast. Their mother, divorced from their father for decades, passed away in 2024. They plan to scatter their mother's ashes during that visit because she was born in the city and always wanted to be home. Here is the issue. I firmly believe that my stepson's place is at home with his girlfriend and their new baby. They live almost 2 hours from any other family who could help with the baby. They have no friends in the town where they live. The girlfriend doesn't work and has even cried about not having any friends or a support network to me. Stepson wants to go on the trip, not because he knows/knew his grandparents, but because he has never been to the city where the grandfather lives. He can't afford to pay his own way, so we would have to pay his airfare, hotel, and all food for the 4-day trip. I've told my husband, 57 male, that I do not want to contribute to paying for my stepson to go because he belongs at home supporting his girlfriend and their new baby who will be less than a month old at the time of the trip. I also told my husband that if I was the new mother and my partner left me for a trip like this, he would find his things sitting on the porch and the locks changed when he got home. My husband doesn't see any issues with him going. My husband is retired. He does contribute to our joint finances, and we each have personal accounts. So am I the asshole for not wanting to help finance a trip for a soon-to-be father who wants to go on a trip to celebrate virtual strangers to him? Edit. Stepson was raised by his mother. Husband was in the stepson's life on weekends, summers, and big events. He was also the financial support because his ex-wife continued to be a som even after the divorce. Not the asshole. Your husband can choose to fund it from his personal account if he wants, but you're allowed to set a boundary on your money. Not the asshole, but this tells me he's grossly unprepared to be a father. OMG, not the asshole. Husband and stepson are complete jerks. Well, obviously, your husband and SS have no idea what the girlfriend would be going through and have no empathy. I would definitely not be funding any of this. However, I might say if he goes, I will not be going on the trip. Instead, I would go over and support her. Some people say it is not your business, but I could not let her go through that. It just wouldn't sit right with me. Your husband knows how you feel and should be nervous that you could be having a heart-to-heart conversation with her. Not the asshole. You're not the asshole for not wanting to finance it, but you stated your husband has separate finances, so tell him that he has to pay fully out of his own finances. You've already made your point clear, but it's not your place to tell him that he has to stay home. He's a grown adult, and if he chooses to leave them, then that is an issue for his baby mama to deal with. I fully agree with you that he shouldn't be leaving, however, it's not your place to say it. He knows it and she knows it, and it's between the two of them. Your 24 years old stepson, who has a baby on the way, is not your responsibility to financially support for a trip, but your husband's father is his responsibility, so your husband should pay for his own family's trip.